Hello and Happy New Year, and welcome to Navajo County Connection. I'm Navajo County Communications Manager Adam Wolfe, filling in for our supervisors today as they start the busy legislative season in the new year. Believe it or not, 2018 is here, and for many that means resolutions, time to start fresh. For others, unfortunately, it means battling the common cold and sometimes even influenza. In Arizona, so far, we've had a busy start to the year. Flu season seems to have arrived a little early. So to discuss that, we have Navajo County Public Health Services Epidemiologist Edwin Rodriguez here with us today. Edwin, thanks for joining us.
Oh, thank you very much for inviting me.
Happy to have you. So before we get talking about influenza and the current situation throughout the state, we'd like to learn a bit about our guests. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how long you've been with the county.
Sure. I've just been with the county for about 4 months now. I'm the epidemiologist for the health district, and so my emphasis is on infectious disease investigations, data analysis in regards to infectious diseases, and other phenomena within the health department.
Okay. Well, we're definitely happy to have you on the show with us today and in the county. So talking about flu season, it's been an early start so far. What does that mean for our local healthcare facilities?
So because the previous flu season never really died off, it actually went on throughout the most of the 12-month period for the season. And so at the very end of last year's season, we went ahead and started this season with some pretty strong numbers. So from the beginning, we actually saw a bit of an increase. And what that means for our providers is that it's going to put more stress on those hospitals, those clinics, those emergency rooms, and they're going to have a higher influx of individuals. And we're also seeing, with the higher number of flu cases, more cases of hospitalized individuals and more cases of severe individuals.
Now, when you say more individuals are being hospitalized, is that actually because of the flu itself, or is it secondary infections as well? Or when this happens, does it all sort of blend into one?
It's a combination of both. It could be the flu itself in some cases, and because we are seeing a general increase in cases of influenza that goes ahead and rolls over on, it means we're going to be seeing more cases of additional infections such as pneumonia or strep throat or complications with asthma. And individuals could be hospitalized for a combination of those things and any other respiratory complications as well because of the nature of influenza. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we're seeing these cases now. There's still plenty of the population who does not have the flu. What is the best way for them to avoid catching influenza?
So the best way to avoid catching influenza is always going to be by receiving the vaccination. The flu vaccine has been the proven method to avoid catching the influenza virus, and in addition to that, of course, avoiding people who are showing symptoms, avoiding direct contact with those individuals, whether it be in the family or at the work site, and staying home whenever you see the onset of the symptoms yourself too.
Yeah, now at the county, that's been a big thing we've been pushing is, if you're feeling ill, if you're feeling sick, please stay home. Don't go into the office. Don't send your kids into school. Let them get better because this can obviously spread very easily, correct?
That's right. Given the nature of influenza, it does spread really easily. It becomes aerosolized, and just about any corner that your droplets, when you sneeze or you cough, has a reach of the flu virus can also go, and it'll stick around for quite a while. So it becomes easy for other people to share those same contact services as well. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so definitely telling people stay home if you feel ill. It's very important. Now, for people showing symptoms, maybe they've stayed home for a couple of days, their symptoms are getting a little worse. At what point should they consider either contacting their physician or heading into an emergency room or just a healthcare facility?
Right. So because of the recent increase in hospitalizations and in cases that are seen at our local clinics and emergency rooms and emergency departments, we're recommending that only those individuals who are either at really high risk of becoming a severe case of influenza or those who are already a high risk and a more severe case of influenza actually go out and seek medical care, specifically emergency medical care. We definitely want to leave those emergency room slots open for those individuals who really, really need them at this point. And that is one thing that we are monitoring here at the health district. The number of beds available, as well as the vaccination and the level of medication to fight the flu that's given at the doctor's office. Those are all levels that we are monitoring. And while there are some backlogs in orders for some of those things, for the meantime, all the hospitals and practices seem to be doing okay.
Okay. Yeah. Now we have heard about some of the facilities, such as some are requiring masks for people in the waiting room. Is that a common thing to happen when you have an outbreak this large? Because I think just that sight, if you walk into the hospital and you see that, I think it would take you back a little bit, like, oh, something bad's happening. But is that more of a precaution, kind of a standard procedure when this happens?
That's very standard, right? So while it does look a little concerning, right, to be walking in a hospital and seeing something like that, that's completely normal to be seeing in instances like this. And we have, while we are looking and monitoring the situation very closely, we don't have any reason to be extremely concerned about just at this moment. We're going to continue to monitor our flu activity, our hospital bed count, our distribution of medications, so that we can have a real good picture of what's going on the ground in those hospitals and clinics. Mm-hmm.
Great. And if members of the public are just looking to get more information, such as a list of flu symptoms or even how to treat it, things like that, where could they go for that info?
So the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention has a page dedicated to influenza, as well as our own State Department of Health Services. The Arizona Department of Health Services also has a homepage dedicated for influenza, and they can search there for whether it be reasons to go to see their provider in any of the more delicate situations, more severe situations, or how to avoid getting influenza, or even finding a provider. There is a 100 number that can help you find a provider where you can get a vaccination to prevent the flu.
Great. And locally, do we have anything similar? If people call our health department, are we able to direct them where they need to go?
So we do actually provide vaccinations at the health district, but we ourselves are running a little low on the vaccinations. But because we have not peaked for this influenza season, we definitely recommend that people do still get their vaccine, even though they might think it may be too late. And they definitely can call our offices to see if we don't have any available for them, we can find somewhere else where they might be able to obtain it. Mm-hmm.
Great. Well, Edwin, thank you so much for joining us today. That's great information about the flu. Just hopefully it would help our public understand a little bit more about what's going on locally around the state. But for now, we'll continue monitoring and just hope it goes smoothly for the rest of the season. A little early, but
Definitely
it's okay.
will.
We'll tackle those challenges as they come. So thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much.
We're going to take a short break, but when we come back, we're going to have the Navajo County Emergency Management and Preparedness team here to discuss current conditions with the dry start to winter. Welcome back to Navajo County Connection. I'm now joined by Navajo County Emergency Management and Preparedness Director Mary Springer and Deputy Director Catrina Jenkins. Thanks so much for joining us today.
It's our pleasure being here.
Thanks for having us.
So, you two have been on the show before, a couple times actually. You're pretty frequent guests. But for those who are new to our show, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves and your role with the county?
Well, I've been with the county 13 years, and I'm the Emergency Management Director. And we really strive to make sure that we have good plans in place in case something happens. And then if we do have an emergency, that we're able to respond with our staff and our volunteers.
And I've been with the county for 17 years almost. It's been a fun ride so far, so I'm looking forward to helping my citizens of my county even more.
Well, I've been lucky enough to be a part of that ride for about 2 years now. It is quite the journey. We've been through quite a few events, snowstorms, fires. Would love some snowstorms now.
Yes, we would.
I think you had baptism by fire.
A little bit.
Cedar fire.
Cedar fire. But speaking of, the current dry state of, just our region, what dangers does that present as far as things we don't normally see in winter?
Well, if you travel up Highway 77, you'll see a lot of burn patches. And really, if you travel anywhere in Navajo County, you're going to see dried, really tall, cured out grasses. And that poses a problem because it's very low moisture. And really, the Weather Service got it right this year. It was going to be higher temps and lower precipitation. So anytime you have that mix, you have potential for wildfires.
Yeah, and we're definitely seeing that even, and things as simple as, dragging chains or parking on top of this high grass can ignite this because it's still very dry out there. We're actually, as we just saw in California, huge wildfires can still start, and we actually are still in wildfire watch. So, Catrina, what are some actions that our residents can take just to avoid these simple things?
Some of the simple things is stuff that we've talked about many times, and that's creating a defensible space around your home, making sure you've collected all the debris and dry leaves, pine needles, that kind of thing in your yard. Check your gutters, your eaves, make sure there's no debris stuck up there. Put your wood away. Things like that help fires progress. Those are simple things that can stop a fire where they are. So we want our citizens to take advantage of the mild winter and actually do some of that before the spring's winds kick in and make it impossible, because once those winds start, we won't be able to burn. So.
Well, yeah, because even just one spark on a windy day can really start something out of control.
Absolutely.
Now, I think a lot of our residents are just hoping for snow, for a storm, but it's important to realize that one storm can't fix this, correct?
Correct. One storm, we need a lot of moisture. And I don't think we really got that much over the monsoon season. It seemed to be very short, so we're in the dry conditions as we are now from lack of moisture. And we all see it. There's no snow on the ground. A little storm coming here and there isn't going to fix the drought problem.
Yeah, we definitely had a busy start to monsoon season, but it really trailed off at the end. And in our conversations with the Weather Service, it's very dry. We've gone through long stretches, one of the longest stretches without a measurable snowstorm that our region's had. So it is quite concerning. Now, over the summer, we talk about programs such as FireWise and Ready, Set, Go. But let's start with FireWise. What are some of the things just our residents can do just to make their home or their community FireWise friendly?
So firewise.org is the website they can go to. Many of our communities have already adapted FireWise, and by that they have committed to being a FireWise community, and the whole community as a project, making sure that their yards are cleaned up, making sure that their homes have the landscaping done that help protect them from fires. FireWise is a program that's nationally recognized, and we are proud to say many more of our communities are adopting it.
Good. And then what about Ready, Set, Go? Let's start with what is Ready, Set, Go?
Ready, Set, Go really comes out of the fire service, and it's making sure that you've got all your house, everything ready as far as making sure you've done your cleanups, you've taken a look at the different tenants that you have to, where's your papers, your plans with your families, that kind of thing. Set means you know where that is, you know what the plan is, you know who to call, and go means it's time to go. In case of an evacuation, you've done all that prep work. So everybody should be in a state of ready at all times. You should know where your important papers are. You should know where your medicines are. You should know your kids' school hours and work schedules and that kind of thing. This is something that the Sheriff's Association in Arizona decided to implement for evacuations. Before, it used to be pre-evac, which nobody knew what that was, and evacuations. So now we're trying to make it a little more simpler. We'll have more information coming out in the next few months.
Great. And then, we're still in winter, so we actually run into this very unique situation of we could still see a fire, but at the same time we could also see a little moisture and you'd have icy roads. So we're still trying to prepare people for that winter weather. So what are some winter tips we can give them for when these storms actually do arrive?
Absolutely. So having a preparedness kit in your car, for example, is a great way to be ahead of the game. Having a few items like a granola bar, some small bottles of water, matches or flares, things of that nature, a safety kit, first aid kit, all of that already in your car with some extra blankets, clothes, jackets, those kinds of things. At home, we want people to pay attention to those heaters. Make sure that they're clear all the way around so that they don't start a home fire, because we do typically see several home fires every year, and they are usually started by something simple like candles, space heaters, those kinds of things. Check the wires on those heaters just to make sure you've done everything possible to protect your family and your home.
Yeah, absolutely. And a couple other things just as far as driving on ice, take it slow. There's no need to be in a rush to get anywhere, especially in the winter. It's always better if everyone can arrive safely. Makes for coming out, we're coming out of the holidays, but everyone still wants to be together. We want to make sure everyone is safe. So let's say an emergency event does occur, be it a large storm or a fire. What are some of the ways our public could get information?
Well, we have our county website. We have our county Facebook. We use 311 info on the website, and they can also call 311 to get information. And 311 is kind of unique for us up here in the White Mountains. It's a call center if we need to stand it up and have live bodies answering the phone, or it can be a recorded message either from the Forest Service, Health Department, or Emergency Management. So that's just a couple ways that people can get information. We also have our Ready Navajo County, which is a way that we can contact people in the event of an emergency, but you have to register. So you need to go online at Ready Navajo County, www.navajocountyaz.gov, and register, or they can call Catrina and I and we can get them registered.
Great, yeah, and social media, I'm very familiar with our county social media, and that's just facebook.com/Navajo County or twitter.com/Navajo County AZ. We keep that up to date, especially in an emergency situation. That really becomes, first point of contact. That's where the information is going to go out, and we always put it social media, 311, and Ready Navajo County, so you get those alerts right away.
Yes.
And it's vetted information.
Absolutely.
It's good information. Yeah. So it's not rumors. It's something that people can count on.
Yeah. Now, if it's just a non-emergency situation, but people still want more information, what is the best way to get a hold of emergency management?
They can call us direct. My phone number is 928-524-4163. And please leave a message. If I don't pick up, it's because I'm away from my phone for a couple of minutes, but I will call back.
Yep. And the priority is to keep residents safe and protect our communities. Well, thank you two so much for joining us today. Always great to have you here.
Thanks for having
Yep,
us.
thanks for helping us get the message out.
Yep, not a problem at all. And for those of you who don't know, this is our very own Thelma and Louise. They are the dynamic duo. We love having them around. But thank you all so much for tuning into Navajo County Connection. Once again, I'm Communications Manager Adam Wolfe, and we'll see you next time.